This recording is part of the weekly business school and greenhouse program provided by TNT Promotions. Any unauthorized broadcast or duplication is strictly prohibited. Please check first with your particular upline leadership before implementing any principles heard on the CD.
Well, let's look at our next category, and that's EFA and cholesterol deficiencies. What are some of the conditions that fall into this category that we see commonly?
Probably some of the biggest ones that surprise people is acne or any of your skin problems, rashes and things like that. All can be stemmed back to an essential fatty acid disorder or something wrong with essential fatty acids. Low sperm count, PMS, kidney misfunctions and blood clots. A lot of hair problems have a lot to do with essential fatty acids. We were talking about PMS, and what I mean by that is extended time on your menstrual cycle and challenges like that are all essential fatty acids. And you know, when I talk about essential fatty acids, I almost consider it the motor oil of the body. It just does so many functions, but it's so easy to see if you're not getting enough. Because the rule of thumb is if your heels have cracks in them in the skin, or if you feel your skin and it's dry, you're probably not getting enough EFAs, or you're not absorbing enough EFAs. And so it's probably one of the easiest nutritional products to look at yourself and figure whether you're getting enough or not. And there's a lot of people that say of all the fats that you're getting, 1/3 of those calories should be from omega-3 or omega-6. And I would say the average American, maybe 5%, maybe 6%, maybe 7%.
So less than a sixth of what they need.
Yes. And you really start to see that. But look at our teenagers. How many of them have acne problems? You sit down and you look at your spouse and you look at their heel and you have great big callus buildups and they're cracked or they're painful to them, or you feel your own skin and it's dry, especially during the winter. Well, all you have to do is take some more EFAs and that goes away.
When people are craving fats, they're craving, fried foods, or this French fries smell really good, or potato chips, it's kind of the body's way of asking, not necessarily for the fat that goes around our middle, but the essential fatty acids that goes around the cell membranes. And when we don't get enough, or we get the bad fats, the trans fatty acids, the oxidized fats, they get dry. Dry skin on the outside, dry lungs on the inside, dry brains. I know one of the symptoms we look at is if people walk into a room to get something, and when they get there, they can't remember what it was, they've got a dry brain. If in the course of a conversation, you have a word that you know what that word is, you just can't get to it. Like that thing, or what's his name, or that place. We always go to the what's its, you know what I mean, right? And they're making reference to these words that they can't get to. That's a sign, dry brains, right? Dry cracks on your heels means cracks in your arteries. And it's actually, Dr. Wallach proved this back in 1971, that the cause of arteriosclerosis and heart disease is not eating cholesterol. In fact, he said he did with these autopsies on people and animals that ate all cholesterol and meat, the meat eaters, versus those that were vegetarians, that actually those that were vegetarians had more arteriosclerosis, more heart disease, and they weren't eating any cholesterol. But he says it's from the oxidized fats, the cracks in their arteries, that were causing that. That's causing the inflammation. Back in 1971, and there was actually research published in the New England Journal of Medicine about a gentleman eating 25 eggs a day that had normal cholesterol, right? So it's not cholesterol, it's actually cracks in their arteries. And this is one that Dr. Wallach took the fight to the FDA to get a health claim approved. Talk to us a little bit about that health claim, because that is a huge deal. They're linking this to tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of fewer heart attacks in the United States because of this one health claim.
There's a lot of people that say that essential fatty acids in the form of omega-3, DHA, and EPA is actually more effective than almost all the drugs out there. And remember, most of the drugs out there just mask or try to fix a symptom. It doesn't fix the problem.
You're stocking drugs on heart disease.
Absolutely. And cholesterol-lowering medicine, think about this. If you wanted to make millions and millions and millions of dollars, and you wanted to always have income for the rest of your life, you would try to create a product that will artificially do something that people will have to do for the rest of their life. Well, that's almost literally what a cholesterol drug is. And the pharmaceutical companies have literally brainwashed doctors into this belief that cholesterol is the evil. Well, I'm convinced that cholesterol, if your body didn't make it, would be a 90 essential nutrients. You need cholesterol for healthy brain function. You need cholesterol for healthy blood function. You need cholesterol to help produce certain hormones in your body that raises the quality of life. You need need all those cholesterols. You have to have it. It's just that your body needs to use it correctly. And so artificially removing cholesterol out of your body or poisoning your liver or whatever form you want to do it causes more problems than they're fixed. How many people heard of Alzheimer's 40 years ago? We really didn't hear of Alzheimer's. How many people heard of problems with erections 40 years ago? Well, maybe we didn't talk about it. Maybe it was there, but it's sure out there now. I can't watch an 8 o'clock TV show without at least seeing 3 or 4 commercials about it. And we talk about lowering testosterone levels or problems with hormones. It's all related to cholesterol. Cholesterol is not a demon. It's actually a blessing. We've just been brainwashed over the years.
So those cholesterol-lowering drugs, their mechanism actually poisons the liver so the liver doesn't make cholesterol.
Yes.
And that's why they're now being increasingly linked to Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Yes.
But if people are fearful of cholesterol, and they haven't shown that lowering cholesterol actually helps with heart disease, which it just blows me away that we spend actually billions of dollars on trying to lower cholesterol when high cholesterol hasn't been linked to any disease.
No, look at animals, look at even humans. If we look at the Eskimos that live up in northern Alaska and those types of areas where their main source is blubber from whales or from seals, they have huge cholesterol levels, 300 to 500, but they have almost no cardiovascular disease. So if you're making the argument that high cholesterol is related to heart disease, why don't the Eskimos up in Alaska have the problems? And there's some animals that have 9, 10, 1,000 cholesterol level within their blood. They don't seem to have cardiovascular disease. It's just this education that we've received over the last 30, 40, 50 years.
Well, let's talk about when people want to get cholesterol. How many eggs a day does Dr. Wallach recommend?
I've seen Dr. Wallach recommend a minimum of 4 all the way up to 10. It just all depends on what the individual challenge is. The one thing that he'll tell you is you can't fry them. No fried eggs. Hard-boiled's fine. Poached is fine. Soft scrambled is fine. But we want to stay away from those trans fatty acids.
Right. So no margarine, no vegetable oils. What you want is to cook it in butter. If you're going to use it in butter, don't let the butter burn. When we look at then the cholesterol, 4 eggs would be typically 4 to 6 on a typical person. But if they're seriously deficient, that's when Dr. Wallach will tell them 10 eggs, or I've even heard him say 20 eggs a day. And if you can't eat the whole egg, at least get the yolk, because that's where the cholesterol is. Right? Well, what about the products? We look at the Healthy Heart and Brain Pack. And it has, again, the basic 90 essential nutrients with a couple of additionals. We have some additional essential fatty acids, and we have some selenium. Talk with us about why we would add selenium to a package like that.
Well, selenium is one of those minerals that when I talk to Dr. Schrouser, he says selenium is like if you go down a hotel hallway and there's all these doors there, but they're all closed. Selenium is like a key. Selenium is the master key that will open up all the doors to help your body do additional functions. We know that selenium will help prevent certain cancers. We did that as a health claim to the FDA and won that one. But it also helps in cholesterol challenges and hundreds of other columns. It's one of those master minerals that has the key that opens and closes opportunities for our body to heal itself. And so in the combination with the cholesterol, we have selenium. And remember how I said some people may need 4 EFAs, some people may need 8 EFAs or 10 EFAs. So we put extra EFAs in 180 count so that we can get more essential fatty acids in our body with the 90 essential nutrients. And I love this pack.
When we're talking about the different forms of EFAs, I know we've got an EFA Plus as well as a regular EFA. And it seems that the EFA Plus is the longer chain omega-3 essential fatty acids, things that would be more useful for, say, the heart and the brain, when the shorter chain ones like that are in the regular EFAs are more for the skin and lungs. Is that an accurate way to look at it, and why someone would want to use both?
Well, and also the percentages of the omega-3 and the omega-6 and the direction that we want to go in. There are certain fatty acids in there that are called EPA and DHA. Those seem to be the special ones that help with the heart and heart health. And we find that those are primarily in fish oils and products like that. And we're constantly looking at improving our products. And just recently, we've actually changed the formula of our Ultimate EFA, putting more fish oil in there so that we can raise the levels of EPA and DHA for cardiovascular health. And we just made this change. Even though we feel we make the best product, and at that particular time with that amount of research that we put into it, we really do feel that. But as new information comes out, you're always seeing us tweak the formulas to make them better. We're never satisfied because we can always feel we can get better results, and that's the bottom line, is results driven.
And that's one of the things that impresses me with Youngevity, is you're constantly researching, constantly improving. And many of these you don't actually even announce to people. It's just a better product. They get better results, and they don't even know why, but you've just improved the formula and put it out there at the same price.
Well, that's one of the goals we do. If it looks like there's going to be a change in price because of a change we want to do, we usually give the customer the option of which formula they want to take. But if we can maintain the same price and make it a better formula, it's, in my mind, a no-brainer. And so with the new EFAs that just came out just recently, that's exactly what we did, is we put more fish oil so that you get those EPA and DHAs at a higher level.
So we've got the EFA Plus, we've got the EFA, but we actually have one product that has higher concentration of the fish oil. It's called the Smart FX.
Yes, I don't know if I quite describe it that way. You can get fish oils and you can purify them and you can raise certain levels and you can take out all the byproducts that are naturally in fish oil that aren't that beneficial to you. What Smart FX does is that it's the purest form of EPA and DHA that we have, that we can even find. It comes from a company actually in Norway, and we import it into the United States and then treat it like we do all our other EFAs in a nitrogen-based atmosphere so it's not exposed to oxygen. Actually, when they package the oil to send it to us in these big barrels, 55-gallon barrels, they actually do that in a nitrogen atmosphere too. So we handled this purified oil in such an extreme way that we're allowed to do it. Now, since it is fish oil, some people complain about a little bit of burping, so we put a little rosemary extract in that because we learned through the essential oil people that if we put rosemary extract in there, you probably won't burp. And so it's a great 1-2 combination, high in EPA. There's lots of studies out there that show that it helps with short-term memory and long-term memory. It will even help your kids learn better because if they're more alert, their brain is functioning more in school, they'll learn better. And so we can even say that it's beneficial for your children learning in school.
Thus the name Smart FX.
Yes.
Well, what about the other end? There are some people that maybe have a fish allergy. Do we have an essential fatty acid products for those people?
Absolutely. We have EFA products that are basically flaxseed base or evening primrose base. And I spoke to a woman the other day, and the evening primrose base product is actually called Women's EFA. And she came to me and she said to me, my husband just seems to have mood swings. It's just unbelievable. And I go, oh, okay. And I says, do you know how to take care of that? And she goes, no. And I says, well, when you have mood swings, what did I suggest for you? And she goes, well, you told me I needed to take more Women's EFAs. And I go, yes. And she goes, you mean they're not just for women? And I just smiled at her and she goes, I never knew that. And she goes, but how am I going to get my husband to take the Women's EFA? And I go, when my wife asks me what I want for dinner, I usually go, I just want it served. And so if you just put it in front of him and say it's EFAs, he'll take it. If he really gets nosy, take the label off the bottle and just put EFAs on the cap and they'll take that. But as far as a great form of essential fatty acids that's away from it, the Our Garden line has a flaxseed one, and the Super Life line has Women's EFA, which is an evening primrose one, which is my favorite.
So with the Women's EFA, even though it's called Women's EFA, it's still beneficial for men and boys?
Absolutely. We just talk about maybe unfairly that women have more mood swings than men. And I'll say that unfairly because my wife seems to point that out to me. And so, yes, we probably should change it to evening primrose EFAs just so that it's available for both.
Well, thank you very much, Richard. Now, another thing you've already mentioned that has essential fatty acids that we use topically is that CM cream. that's made from essential fatty acids, right?
Absolutely. And people that have challenges with cracked heels and things like that, using the topical cream just to support that works in multiple ways to absorb the essential fatty acids into a targeted area, and it's very beneficial as well.
One of the other things that's kind of a subcategory we see off the EFA and cholesterol deficiencies can often be kidney problems. Now, if you wanted to help support and promote healthy kidney function and healthy circulation in the kidneys, is there a special product that we have for that?
In working with Dr. Wallach, he talks about roto-rooting your system out and cleaning out your arteries. He recommends that you take this healthy brain and heart pack, and what you do is you add Ultimate Daily to that formula. And when you take the combination of those two multivitamins, the quick absorbing one and the tablet that's slower absorbing, and with the extra B vitamins in there, what it does is it cleans out those arteries, takes away that extra filling that's in there, helps your kidney push out all the excess stuff that works into your blood and becomes more efficient, and it works marvelous. You know, I've talked to people that have taken ultrasounds of their carotid artery in their neck, and they have 60, 70, 80% blockage, and they go on this program for 6 months, and they go back and they've dropped 10, 20, 30% of the blockage is gone just by doing that. And because of that, you know what else goes down? A little bit of blood pressure and other challenges like that. And they don't have a tendency to get lightheaded if they move around quickly. If you have blocked arteries, you have the potential of stroke and other cardiovascular challenges in that direction. They also all go down.
This is one I know if I had a stent put in and I was really focused on making sure my arteries stayed clean, I would be using the Daily every single day. Although I don't have any stents, this is one of the products that I use every single day, because with those extra B vitamins, I find if I ever have a busy day and, you know, at night I feel like I'm not going to be able to sleep as long as I would love to sleep, but I just have a busy schedule, taking a couple of those daily right before I go to bed gives those extra vitamins there when the body's trying to rebuild, and I wake up with more energy. And when we talk about vitamins and kidney function, you know, a lot of people say vitamins just give you expensive urine, but it seems like that's one of the functions of all of these vitamins, is that they help your kidneys work. And so Dr. Wallach says, you know, if you look at healthy dogs, they don't make clear snow, they make yellow snow, right?
Absolutely, and that's one of the easy ways to tell if you have an absorption problem or not, which we'll talk about in just a few moments, is that if you take a lot of B vitamins and your urine is still clear, we know we have an absorption problem that we have to deal with. But absolutely, you know, so much of people I talk about, they have the back pain in the middle of their backs and whatnot, and they're not drinking enough water. And the kidneys basically purify. They're a blood filter just like a water filter. We're trying to pull all these toxics out and then push it out through our urinary system. By having healthy kidneys, it helps pull all the toxins out of your body. And it's so crucial to maintain a healthy lifestyle to have a liver and kidneys that work well in combination to help get all these toxins out of your body.
And when you have clean blood, you tend to have more energy. So people with dirty blood will tend to be a lot more lethargic and run out of energy very quickly.
Absolutely.
Now, when we look at the daily, what's the typical dosage that people like to take?
It's usually somewhere between 3 and 6 a day. A couple with each meal is an ideal program. We make sure that we typically make the product so there's at least a 1 month supply in it. When we're looking at these people that are trying to clear out their arteries, we might add a few more to that. I feel comfortable recommending 3 to everybody and up to 6, somewhere in that window depending on the size. We talk about doses in general, and when you talk about a veterinarian, when he talks about dose, he always relates it to weight. How big's your dog? Well, then the dose is this. But with humans, we seem to break it down by whether you're a child, a teenager, adult, or a senior citizen. I've never really understood that because your body needs nutrients based on weight. And so if you're a bigger person, you might need a little bit more. If you're a baby, obviously we're going to give you less. But it's all based on weight and those types of situations. So my rule of thumb for most people is for every 50 pounds of body weight is a daily.
Yeah, Dr. Wallach, when they have clogged arteries, he'll say 3 for every 100 pounds.
There we go. By weight, you know, and that's true with all animals, and we're part of that animal kingdom.
The de-stress is another one that he will sometimes add for this category. What is the de-stress designed for? I mean, the name almost tells you exactly what it is, because A lot of people have a lot of emotional and physical stress. Talk with us about the de-stress and why it fits into this category.
Well, look at our society recently and all the challenges we're having with unemployment and the work environment and how competitive it is, and everyone gets a little bit stressed out because of activities within their lives that they really can't control. But we know that that affects the body. It affects the body, how it functions. And what we found is that if you increase the B vitamins along with some other products, some herbs and glands that we put in the product, that we can help with that stress within your body. You know, we can't unfortunately fix your job, so to speak. But as far as the inner part of your body, we know if we add more B complex into your system, it will help your body deal with stress. Along with stress is cardiovascular disease. Along with cardiovascular disease could be strokes and challenges like that. And so I see Dr. Wallach all the time recommend de-stress anytime an individual needs more B vitamins.
Sometimes people have severe EFA deficiencies. Some of those severe cases have been linked to conditions such as cystic fibrosis and fibromyalgia and macular degeneration. Muscular dystrophy is a big one that we see more and more. In those situations, one of the important things to look at is not just how much of the essential fatty acids and cholesterol you're getting, how much of this package, like the Healthy Heart and Brain Pack, but we also have to look at how well you absorb it. It's not what you take that counts, it's what you absorb. It's just like, it's not how many books you buy, it's how many you actually read. So when we look at digestion, this is a growing problem in the United States. Talk with us a little bit about this category.
Well, you know, when we talk about digestion, we're talking about breaking down of fats and proteins and other nutrients. And there are several stages that our body was designed to work with. In other words, there was supposed to be acid in your stomach to start that. Then when it goes through your duodenum, it neutralizes the acid so that as it goes through your small intestines and your colon, you have these little bacteria that help break it down and then absorbs through a thin membrane that's in your digestive tract. And so what's happened is over the years and years and years in the diet that we eat, rather eating raw fruits and vegetables like our great-grandmother and our grandmothers did, we're eating more of that processed food. And what we found in that processed food is that the reduction of salt in our diet that our doctors have recommended, you need salt to make acid in your body. And so when we don't salt our food and eat it at the time, we can't produce the acid. And so that's just the beginning of like a ball going down a hill of poor digestion.
Is that why we're seeing more and more gluten intolerance and wheat allergies than ever before?
Sure. Wheat and gluten is hard to digest. It takes acid, it takes enzymes, it takes good bacteria in your gut to break it down. It is a hard item to break down. So what you're doing is if you don't have good acid in your stomach, if you don't have good bacteria in your gut and enzymes, it's like eating splinters and it just tears up your gut and comes out. It isn't that beneficial. And so it's important that people realize whether their digestive tract is healthy. And one of the ways I point that out is, we talked about earlier in this CD, if you have more than one category wrong with you, healthy blood and sugar and all the health challenges involved with it and calcium problems and all the problems and maybe cholesterol problems, then you really probably have a digestion problem to deal with first. In other words, if you're going to take all these great nutritional products, we want to make sure that our digestive system is in premier shape. So in the Healthy Start Pack that has to do with a healthy digestion pack, what we do is we take the 90 nutrients from the Healthy Start Pack, the osteo, the BTT, and the EFA, and we add digestive enzymes, and we add flora to it so that we can get your digestive pack. Now, the Ultimate Enzymes is a special guy because it has the acid in there to help your stomach produce acid. It has products in there to help neutralizes once it leaves your stomach to help neutralize the acid. And then it has the enzymes to help break down those fats and proteins. Now, we were talking about EFAs, essential fatty acids. They're fats. You have to have those enzymes in there to help break those down. If you're eating the processed foods, the cooking method that they use destroys the enzymes in the product, so there's no more enzymes in it. If you cook a papaya, it's not beneficial to you. These digestive enzymes are just a key to do it. And I have not seen another digestive product like Ultimate Enzyme that has that support in acid and support in neutralizing it once it goes through the duodenum, and those enzymes all in one product to help. And then the last little step is to make sure that you have good bacteria in your stomach to help break things down, because your gut, your colon, your small intestines are going to be able to take care of X number of bacteria, and it's billions and billions of bacteria. But they can be good bacteria or they can be bad bacteria. And so we constantly want to seed our digestive tract with the good bacteria to force down the percentage of the bad bacteria. It's a funny way, but we talk about people that their poop stinks, so to speak. Well, that's actually an indicator that you have bad bacteria. Or if you have a gas problem that has a strong odor, that's bad bacteria. And that's when you need to look at the products you're taking and try to correct that situation and get a healthier gut.
Yeah, I know with a newborn, when our little girls were born, the first poop doesn't smell at all because there's no bad bacteria in there. But after that, you start to get bacteria in your mouth and you swallow it. If your stomach acid doesn't kill it off, bacteria can grow in your stomach, and that leads to actually acid reflux and ulcers, right?
Absolutely. You want acid in your stomach at the time when you're digesting the food. And when you start taking these purple pills or pills like that stop your body from producing acid, you're just ruining your digestive system. Yes, you don't have any burning sensation in your throat, so to speak. But if you have the acid there when it's supposed to be there, then you don't have that bacteria growing in your stomach and you don't burp up. We always talk about side products in this advanced program that we're trying to do here. If you have someone that has that burping problem where it burns their throat, so to speak, if they take a little bit of our peppermint oil and they put it in a little bit of water, like a little tea, and they sip on that, that will go away. And then they can still work on making their stomach healthier with the acid they're supposed to have in there so that they'll improve their digestive system.
And you were talking about those antacids. There are only 2 medications that Dr. Wallach tends to recommend people go off cold turkey because he says there's absolutely no benefit. And those are cholesterol-lowering drugs because all they do is poison the liver and your body wants cholesterol. And the other one, he says, is anything that lowers stomach acid. Because you lower stomach acid, you're going to mess up absorption and give yourself all sorts of deficiencies. And so that's important as an add-on or an advanced strategy to the healthy digestion pack, that if they're having that acid reflux, if they're uncomfortable with those symptoms, that they add that peppermint oil. And it's not any peppermint oil. It actually has to be the real pure stuff, like is in the Ancient Legacy line. But a couple drops in that and sip on that, people are seeing results or relief of symptoms in seconds.
Isn't that amazing? They go and they buy a different oil in the store and they turn around and say, I tried it, didn't work nearly as well. And I go, really? Where'd you get the oil? And they go, well, I got it at my local store. And I have that aha moment and I go, quality, quality, quality. It does make a difference.
When we talk about digestive problems, one of the problems with all this unbroken down food and unbroken down gluten that goes down there, like slivers in the intestines, it causes inflammation. Some of the advanced strategies that we see, we already talked about inflammation with the CM Plus and the CM cream. Can people rub the CM cream on topically over their abdomen to help with that? Can they take the CM Plus and have that help with inflammation on the inside in their intestines as well?
Absolutely, because when you think of your small intestines, you have to think of an old shag rug, so to speak, and it has all these little fibers that stick up. And what happens is when your gut gets beat up, it has a tendency to pull all those fibers away, and all you got left is the nap there. And when it's just the nap there, then all these undigested foods that come along actually get in your blood and poison you. It's important that we try to get that nice shag carpet going again in your body by taking good enzymes and taking good bacteria that we have in the Flora FX, along with dropping the inflammation in your body via the CM. We can actually grow that back and you can get healthy again. I always say God made us where we work really well. It's only when man gets involved that we seem to mess things up, right? And we talk about genetically modified corn and wheat, and it just seems like man gets involved in fixing your acid problem, but in doing that, he ruins the rest of your digestive system. Is that really the right answer? And we need to kind of take a step back. It took us thousands of years for this body to develop into the system that it's working now, and it seems to do pretty well. It's just that when we get involved and monkey around with it a little too much, we have a lot of challenges.
We used to talk about giving the body what it needs and it'll do amazing things. When we look at people that have leaky gut syndrome, it is when they get undigested food that gets into the bloodstream, that kind of sets the immune system on high alert. Has that been linked to seasonal allergies?
Oh, absolutely. One of the ways to reduce allergies is literally by getting all the pollutants out of your cell. And the key way to do that is get your gut in shape. And it's not that difficult. It's just amazing how many people struggle with it. But if you just take the healthy digestive pack with the flora and with the enzymes, you might need to get an extra bottle of each and really step it up. It's amazing. Within 2 or 3 weeks, they start to see a change that quick. And, if you think about it, how long does it take to grow that digestive tract and make it healthy? But they'll see that and they stop having it. They'll have more energy. Their kidneys will start to feel better and their liver will start to be better because they're starting to function better and everything goes. I mentioned about all the different challenges. If you have it more in one category, it's probably a digestive problem. I love the Healthy Start Pack. I almost recommend that first. But really, if I think about it, I actually probably recommend the digestive pack first because I know that 1 out of every 3 Americans out there don't have a healthy gut. And if they're going to see results, I have to get the nutrients in their body. And the fastest way to get the nutrients in the body is to get gut healthier. So it's a great lead-in product.
Now, when we talk about digestion, I know one of the issues is not only the increase of gluten in our diet and the decrease of stomach acid, but it's also the rampant use of antibiotics. Tell me, what does that do to the digestive tract?
Well, you think what an antibiotic by definition does is it kills bacteria, right? Well, it's just like a bullet. A bullet doesn't know, oh, this is a good person, I'm not supposed to shoot it, right? If it's just aimed, it goes and it destroys. So when antibiotics get into your gut, it doesn't know the difference between good bacteria and bad bacteria. It just kills it all and kills other bacteria within your body depending on the scenario. So after you take an antibiotic, you need to rebuild your gut all over again. Now, I always encourage everyone only take an antibiotic when you really need it because we know through science that diseases are becoming more able to defend themselves from antibiotics. And so if you don't take them very often, that's great. It seems like for a while when we went to a doctor, we expected a pill. And the easiest pill for them to give us was an antibiotic and pat us on the back and send us on the way. But if you can avoid taking them, you're better off and save them for when you really need them. But they'll kill all the bacteria. And so if you've been on an antibiotic recently, you need to go on a reseeding program with the Flora FX for at least 3 months.
We talk about those reseeding programs. I know a good friend of yours, Joanne Conaway, is kind of an expert in colon health. And she talks about this reseeding program with the Flora, where she would take 8 in the morning with breakfast and 8 at night right before you go to the bed for 5 days. Do 4 at morning with breakfast and 4 right before you go to bed for 5 days. 2 at morning and 2 right before you go to bed for 10 days. And that being one cycle, repeat that cycle 3 times. Are you seeing when people actively work to rebuild the good bacteria in their intestines, do they start to get better absorption and better results?
Absolutely. I can't emphasize that enough. Joanne's step-down program with the Flora or probiotics is such a smart and intelligent way because honestly, a good percentage of the bacteria doesn't actually make it to your gut. And we all know that. There's another way that you can seed your program, but most people don't like that way because there's one way in, one way out, so to speak. And so taking oral pills, we know that a percentage of them not going to work. So doing this step program, it's seeding. In other words, it's not outright replacing 100% of it. We're just providing a seed of a plant so that it can grow and develop its own. We're also in the 90 essential nutrients. You'll see a little product in there. It's called GDL, and no one really knows what GDL is. Well, we do, unfortunately, when we snuck it in a lot of our products. That's actually food for the good bacteria. Now, here's the kicker on it. The bad bacteria, doesn't like to eat it. So if you provide good food, it grows faster. Well, if it grows faster, it pushes the bad bacteria out. So it speeds up that process. Now, you see GDL in a lot of our products, and you wonder why we put it there? Because we understand that a healthy gut will produce better results.
When we talk about getting more good bacteria in there, we use the FloraFX often, but there's actually another way that's a chewable form that is one of our best tasting forms. You've wrapped it in chocolate.
You know, Triple Treat chocolate has the probiotics in it as well, because we found sometimes it's hard for kids to take a pill, but they're always willing to chew on chocolate. And so that is another program that we have. We actually have several probiotic products. I love FloraFX, but for kids, it's so easy to give them a Triple Treat chocolate and have them take it. Plus, it's like 20 servings of fruits and vegetables as far as an antioxidant in supporting their immune system. We're looking at our kids and they're just now going back to school when we're making this CD, but they're in school sometimes year round, depending on what program you're in. We're at least 9 months out of the year. They're exposed to all these viruses and bacteria and whatnot. So we want our kids to have a strong immune system. So if you think about that, what a great way to do it by Triple Treat chocolate. And here's another one. You want to stay on the teacher's good side? Give her a box too, because she'll think that you're doing something special, but actually what you're trying to do is keep her healthier so that she can teach your child and be beneficial. And on another CD down the road, maybe we'll talk about PureWorks and giving it to your teacher.
When we talk about the enzymes, I know the Ultimate Enzymes is by far and away our favorite enzyme product. But if somebody's on, say, a different diet for their own philosophical reasons, they eat a lot more vegetables, there are other enzyme products that are more geared for kind of the vegetarian lifestyle. And I know Dr. Wallach recommends lots of egg, but even those people that haven't made that leap yet, we want them to be as healthy as they can. And so what are some of the products that help with more of that kind of a diet?
So the digestive enzymes that you're referring to is under the Super Life label, and it's plant enzymes or enzymes plus, and it's 100% plant-based. There is no animal product in it whatsoever for those people that want to have that type of life. And so there again, people always ask, why do you have 400 products? And it's just because we're trying to get to 99.9% of the people out there. We're never going to get to 100%, but we're looking at the alternative ways and trying to figure out what's going on. Just so everyone knows, even though the products aren't certified kosher themselves, in the most cases there's a couple that are, but they're all made in manufactured facilities that are kosher. So the individual product isn't, but we do have that cleanliness standard that is out there that we're trying to maintain. That's very, very important to us. And so we can honestly say that all the facilities are certified kosher themselves.
When we look at digestion, in addition to, say, like the Super Life Enzyme Plus, and I know in our garden there was a product called Maximizer. In addition to those products, there's some other products that have some nutrients that are famous for helping with absorption. Aloe vera and the New Zealand black currant. Tell us about some of those products.
You know, there's a product that we have in our line right now that's called Tropical Sensation. And I don't know if there's many people out there that haven't heard, if you have skin problems, putting a little aloe vera lotion, especially if you have a sunburn, so to speak, on there. Personally, I mix it with the plant-derived minerals and put it on my skin because it absorbs faster and better and it's more efficient. But putting aloe vera on our skin, I see so many lotions out there in the stores that advertise that we put aloe vera in our lotions and for that ooh factor. Well, not only does it help your skin, but it's great for your digestive system with all the phytonutrients in there. There is hundreds of phytonutrients in aloe vera. And with the Tropical Sensation, we get the best of the best. In fact, the Analytics Chemistry Society at one time, several years ago, ranked aloe vera drinks. And the Youngevity Tropical Sensation was ranked #1 on the market. Now, we're talking about results. Being #1 is probably one of the best ways to show that. And so Tropical Sensation, if you have an upset stomach or an upset gut or any of those types of situations, I think everyone should have a bottle of Tropical Sensation in their refrigerator. The kids love it, tastes great, and it's healthy for you.
What about the Noni Plus Plus?
Well, if anyone's been on the nutritional market for any period of time, they know that the benefits of the phytonutrients with noni is a great thing. Noni, because it's grown in typically lava soil. It's enriched with minerals and other phytonutrients. And then the plus plus. And you always wonder, why do we put plus plus? Because we add aloe and we add our trace minerals to it. So first plus is aloe, second plus is the trace minerals. And so we take that super juice and we give it a little turbocharge to it and make it just that much better for your digestive system, as well as the trace minerals that we know everyone's missing in their diet.
And I know another product that's a new product in the Youngevity line is the Saxi. And that's actually made with the New Zealand black currant. And actually the people that founded the International Aloe Vera Council created this product because they found that the New Zealand black currant actually works like aloe to help with nutrient absorption, but it actually can be a step up and is an incredible antioxidant as well.
There's a lot of nutrients out there that will support and actually make another nutrient work better. And the Saxi product with the black currant is just exactly that. And you know, it's one of those products that I like to leave on my counter because the packaging that Youngevity did was really great. People pick it up and then they ask questions. And when people ask questions and you give them truthful and honest answers, then they get curious about all the other products that we have. And it just stimulates conversation.
But since we're talking about Saxi and how great of an antioxidant that is, this is a nice way to segue. Now, we're done kind of with the 4 categories and some of the advanced things for the 4 categories. But we do have other things that will support any of the categories, and that is antioxidants. Dr. Waller talks a lot about the longest-lived cultures have an ORAC score of over 20,000, where here in the United States, our ORAC score is like 1/20th of that. Tell us what an ORAC score is, how important are antioxidants, and then let's talk about some of the incredible antioxidant products that Youngevity has.
ORAC, oxygen radical absorption capacity. If we go back about 20 years ago, a lab called Brunswick Lab, along with Department of Agriculture and University of Connecticut, tried to create a test that would allow us to compare apples to oranges. Now, isn't that a funny way to do it? But it's able to show how well any chemical, whether it's a fruit or a vegetable or a nutritional product, has the ability to absorb a free radical within your body and assist your body in not allowing the free radical from destroying cells within your body. And that's where ORAC goes about. So it's a mathematical formula. And what we're able to do in a lab is that we know there's 8 typical free radicals that are in your body. And they're all based off of the oxygen molecule. And they're kind of like little bullets. And they just shoot through your body and destroy cells. And so when you have a bunch of hurt cells, they mutate. And when you get a bunch of mutated cells in a particular area, you have some challenges that we want to address. And so by taking more antioxidants, these antioxidants go out there and they grab these little free radical bullets from destroying any parts of your body. So what we're able to do is create this environment that have these free radicals. We put something in it that it attacks, and we can measure it and put a mathematical curve on it. And then we put an antioxidant or something that we think will be an antioxidant in it, repeat the same environment, and we can see the difference. And that difference we can put a mathematical score against. And that's what we did. Then the Department of Agriculture started to take all the fruits and vegetables that are available in the United States and in the world, and they started to compare to see which one was actually better. Of course, if you think about it, a lot of it made sense. How many people here have heard blueberries are good as an antioxidant? Absolutely. Black raspberries, even though they're rare, are great. Certain spices like turmeric are great. And we talked a little bit earlier about chocolate. Well, believe it or not, chocolate's about 6 times more of an antioxidant than blueberries are. But it can't have the sugar and the dairy products in there. So it's a dark chocolate that's so beneficial. So then we start looking at this and we start to create this opportunity for you to take a product like Beyond Tangy Tangerine with the fruits and vegetables in it and have a higher ORAC score in your overall diet. Now, a serving of Beyond Tangy Tangerine is equivalent to about 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, so it has an ORAC score of around 5,000. But we have products that are 3 and 4 and 5 times greater than that for those that are at risk for having problems with free radicals within their body. And remember, your body makes it. No matter how clean of an environment you live in, whether it's pollutant-free and whatnot, you still always have a free radical problem within your body.
I know that the average serving, they say, of fruits and vegetables is around 600 oric. And the BTT, you get 2 scoops of that a day. If you're using 1 bottle a month, you're getting 5,745, and that's when you're looking at that. That's about the equivalent of 10. But we do have some products that are even stronger than the BTT.
I mentioned turmeric as a great source, and so we took a product that's called Cell Shield RTQ. And just to explain RTQ, R is resveratrol, which is a refined part of grapeseed extract. T is turmeric that we just mentioned, and Q is quercetin, which is one of my personal favorite antioxidants. And we put that formula together and put it in a capsule. And so we blended these 3 ingredients, the resveratrol, the quercetin, and the turmeric, and we created a product that has an ORAC score of 15,800. Now, remember, we thought 55,000 plus in the BTT was wonderful. Well, now we have one that's 3 times greater. And so getting a diet that's over a 20,000 ORAC score is relatively easy when you take our products. But if you're an at-risk person, for example, if you have a family that has a high cancer rate or cardiovascular disease rates or problems that we know that free radical links, I've seen Dr. Wallach recommend people get their ORAC score over 100,000. Well, that gets to be a challenge considering a single fruit like an orange or an apple is only 600. You'd be eating a case a day. And
well, a couple of cases at that.
Taking products like Cell Shield RTQ makes it a lot easier to get up to that number. And we just mentioned just a few seconds ago Triple Treat chocolate. And Blake, I'm sure you know that Triple Treat chocolate's ORAC score is
16,936.
And what a way to get your antioxidants by having a great piece of chocolate to do it.
Now, we've talked about the incredible ORAC score that's in the BTT. A lot of that's from fruits and vegetables that are added to there. But I know you are actually a new product that is taking those fruits and vegetables and making them into a capsule.
Right. We're about ready to release it right when we're talking about this. It'll probably be out within a month, but we're coming out with a Beyond Juice blend. That's basically the fruits and vegetables that are in our BTT in a little more concentrated form with a little bit of quercetin in it. And 2 capsules will have an ORAC score of 10,000 in it. And so just another avenue for doing it. You know, we want to create it where our kids can have 20,000 without our problems. And for those people that need to have a higher ORAC score, that we make it available for them. You know, when we're making this CD right now, it's not even available yet. So it's kind of an inside information. Probably when the CD gets released, it'll be old news, but it's exciting to see this. And it's a great product to take, especially with the quercetin in it.
Fruits and vegetables, when you take these special blends, you've been able to powderize them at low temperatures to preserve not just the antioxidants, but the enzymes and all the other phytonutrients in the fruits and vegetables. So it's more than just an antioxidant product, isn't that right?
Oh, absolutely. You know, there again, we are kind of playing with the way the fruit and vegetables are in place, but what we're trying to do is remove the items that we don't feel are really necessary. They're just a bulk fiber, and just leave all the phytonutrients in there. And when we talk about phytonutrients, so many of them, as you just mentioned, are heat sensitive. In other words, if they get hot in the form of preserving or cooking, they're no longer good in that direction. And so when we do this low temperature spinning technique that we do with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the juice powders, it preserves the quality of the product. Therefore, we get the results. You know, there's other companies out there that have fruit and vegetable powders, but when you test them for their ORAC scores, they're like down in the 200 to 800 range, like a serving of fruit and vegetables. And you look at ours, and they're greater than that. And you just wonder why. It's the way we handle it and the way we take care of it.
Yeah, and the other thing that I love about the fruits and vegetables is when we talk about nutrition, we talk about all the known essential nutrients. And some of these phytonutrients that we don't know as much about can be extremely beneficial for our health. And so that's why Dr. Wallach, I know he likes to edge his bet on the products that give you all the nutrition we know about, as well as all the nutrition we're going to learn about as we go along in the future.
Well, that's one of the reasons why when we do these fruit and vegetable blends, we just take out the fiber. We don't try to take out the other things because there might be something in there we just haven't quite figured out yet that Mother Nature's taking care of, and we don't want to do that. So we try to leave these fibers as whole foods as much as we can in these fruits and vegetable powders so that you get it, because we know that there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of phytonutrients out there we already know about. We're just learning about the blessing of fucoitin that comes from seaweed. And so every year we learn about new ones that come out there that show that there's benefits out there. And we're trying to incorporate all these in a simple way to take the products and get the benefits so that you get the results. And I've said that word a lot, but I can guarantee everyone that listens to this CD, if you take the products properly, if you get your digestive tract healthy, you'll be absolutely amazed on what these products will do for you and your loved one, because sharing the message is just as important as taking the product. I can't imagine not designing these products with the idea that you won't tell everybody about.
And that's one of the things that I'm excited about, because I believe the healthier we can make America, the more we help to keep America as America should be. And that is a nation of people that are active, people that are doers, people that contribute to society. Because when people are sick, when people aren't thinking clearly, those are people that are more susceptible to not only diseases, but they're more susceptible to being led by someone else instead of being able to be critical thinkers and making their own decisions. And we love people to be proactive and to be an active participant in society.
I agree with you. And we hear about all these national healthcare systems in place. I think Dr. Wallach should start his own. We'll call it the Wallach Healthcare Package. And that is, let's not have to go to the hospital in the first place. Let's just get all 90 essential nutrients and all the foods we eat so we don't have to go to the hospital at all. And that will lower healthcare costs, won't it?
This audio recording is meant for informational purposes only. No intention is made to treat or diagnose any disease or condition. Always consult with a physician regarding your own personal health. This recording is the property of TNT Promotions. Any unauthorized duplication or broadcast is strictly prohibited.